Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you only need one. Today we're going to review the Cadisen C8208, homage to an Omega Seamaster 300 from their Heritage Collection. Let's start out with the wrist check. I'm wearing an Act Night 2113, and Grogu's wearing my Cadisen Design PD1753. I asked Grogu if he finished his Life Day shopping. He said he bought Han Solo a new blaster holster, Princess Leia some hair gel, and Chewbacca has been complaining his feet hurt, so he bought him a pair of Crocs and some compression socks. He's going to be crocked, socked, and ready to walk. Alright, let's take a look at the watch. It comes in this fairly nice box. And if you were there for my unboxing video, it came with 2 cards. But it didn't come with 2 watches. It would have been better if it came with 1 card and 2 watches, huh? And then it came with the instructions. We know how to use a watch, especially this type. And then it came with a little bitty tiny cleaning cloth. And here's the watch. Isn't that a nice looking watch? This Cadisen is a pretty good homage to an Omega Seamaster 300 from their Heritage lineup. Heritage is another way of saying retro, and you can't do retro without some patina coloring on the dial. At only 38mm and an 18mm lug width, this tends to be a bit smaller than modern dive style watches, which does fit the retro vibe. Current Omegas of this design are 39 and 41mm, so this one is smaller. The blue of the dial is also flat, giving it an older look. All the steel is brushed and nothing polished because we don't need any shine on a retro watch. There's also a black colorway and a black with a gold colored case. The gold one comes on a rubber strap. I think they're going for a bronze watch vibe. The watch is 37.8mm at the bezel, and the bezel slightly overhangs the case, so the case is a hair smaller. It's 44.3mm lug to lug, which is fairly short. It's 13.3mm thick, and that includes the dome crystal. Has a 18mm lug width, and weighs 139 grams on the supply bracelet with only 1 link removed. So yes, this bracelet's a little short. So if your wrist is bigger than 7 3/4, you probably won't be able to wear it. The bezel is a 90-click unidirectional ceramic, and the action is a bit light. Wish it was a little bit stiffer, but it's good action. I mean, it feels good, and you can hear the clicks. And they're not all mushy or anything. They're just a little light. So if we had just a little bit more resistance, you wouldn't feel like you could knock it out of place so easy. But it seems to line up just fine. And then once again, this is ceramic. And as you can see too, the numbers on the bezel are a little bit more subdued than modern watches. So that gives it a nice retro look. Then the dial is a sandwich dial. As you can see, the indices and the numerals, they're cutouts. It's kind of hard to see up close with this camera because it keeps getting out of focus. But yeah, they're cutouts. And then we have the Cadisen name, but not the Cadisen logo up top. Then on the bottom it says automatic and 200 meters, 660 feet. And thankfully it doesn't say water resistant, because if you give the depth rating, you don't need to say that, and it just clutters up the dial. So I'm glad they did that. Then the hands are loomed, and they're the Omega style with the arrow tip hour hand and the Dauphine minute hand. And then we have a lollipop second hand with a counterbalance, and of course the lollipop is loomed. And then we have the date at the 4:30. This date spoils the look of the entire watch. It just stands out like a sore thumb. I don't know why they did that. I mean, if they're going to put a date there with such a good looking dial, they should have color matched it at least. Made it blue background and Fotina numbers, or even if it was a Fotina background and blue numbers, it would sure look a lot better than this white and not stick out so bad. So yeah, really disappointed with the date. I mean, if you can't color match it, because it would cost more, then just get rid of it. Then the crown is a signed screw down. There's the Cadisen logo right there. The crown, though, it has this taper to it. And so the crown's already kind of small, and this taper makes it feel even smaller, because when you go to grip it, you just really feel the edge here because of this taper, and it kind of digs into your fingers. But there is a nice pop when you unscrew it. But when you go to screw it back down, the threads catch easily. But once again, though, you just really feel it dig into your fingers because you only grab the edge there. Then the crystal is a dome sapphire. And problem with sapphire crystal is you can have quite a bit of reflection there. And it can make it appear a little cloudy. It would have been nice to have some AR coating or something. Then the case is a solid steel. And look though, it's got a little polished chamfered edge here. And so that's kind of a little nice touch. So yeah, this watch is mostly brushed, but there is a little polish on it. But you have to look for it. Then the case back is a screw down. And basically we have some diving goggles as a decoration because this is a dive style watch. Then it says automatic sapphire crystal. And then it says 20 ATM water resistant. And then it gives the model number right there. Underneath the case back is the NH35 movement. This is your go-to movement for watches in this price range. It's a nice workhorse movement. Fairly accurate right off the shelf. It's 24 joules, 3 hertz, hand winds, hacks, and has a bidirectional rotor, so it stays around pretty good. But let's go ahead and see how this one's doing on the time grapher. Here it is on the time grapher, running +8, +9, +10. Those are some pretty good numbers. When you have a hacking watch, it's always nice that it's running a little fast rather than a little slow. And as you can see, there's hardly any beat error, which is why you only see 1 line instead of 2. So yeah, this movement's doing pretty good. Then the bracelet has inverted solid end links. And then we have an oyster style 3-link with brushed center links instead of polished center links. Once again, that gives it more of a retro look. But as you can see, the sides of the links are polished. So once again, there's a little bit of polish on this watch, but not much. Then we have screw pin adjusters. I always say I'm perfectly fine with screw pin adjusters. In fact, I kind of prefer it. They're a little bit easier than screw pins. No trying to get the exact right size screwdriver. You just pop them out with your tool and push them back in. Pretty easy. And then the clasp is kind of small because this is a small bracelet. And we only have 3 holes to micro adjust. I wish we had 4. You just get a better fit with that. But we have a milled lower but a pressed upper. And the pressed upper is signed. And you got push button, but look at that. I've scratched it already. So it scratches kind of easy. Because I haven't worn this watch that much. I don't know why it would be scratched like this already. So, but then again, maybe I'm just a scratch monster. Because you should see my tag holder. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. Once again, it's a little small for me. But a lot of people out in the watch world, they have smaller wrists than me. At 7.5, I wouldn't say it's extra large, but it's large. And once again, I only removed 1 link. So 7 3/4. Otherwise, you'll have to find some links for it. And since this is a pretty small bracelet, you probably don't have any extra links that will fit this one. So you might want to contact Cadisen, see if they could throw some more in. Here we are in the loom room. This has a sandwich dial, so the index loom is basically the dial underneath the outer dial. As we speed up the time, we see that the loom is pretty good. Unfortunately, the hands and loom pip are fading before the sandwich cutouts. And oddly enough, the inner numbers fade before the outer teeth. Must be because the numbers just don't let as much light in. What do I like about this watch? Well, stunning retro looks. Solid steel case with this little chamfered edge. And I like the fact that it has a sandwich dial. They could have cheated and just painted this stuff on and it still would have looked fairly similar, but no, they went through the extra effort to make it a sandwich. What are my gripes and groans? This white date really stands out on this blue dial, and it just really sticks out. I don't like it at all. I really wish they would have color matched the wheel or got rid of it. The hand loom fades before the index loom. It's not any good to see the indexes if you can't see the hand. And this is not a gripe for everyone, but it is for me. The watch is just a little small for my liking. Plus, I only removed one link to size it, so if your wrist is bigger than 7 3/4, you will not be able to wear this without getting some extra links. Do I recommend this watch? Yes, it looks and wears great. It's a really nice watch for the money, and I recommend it. Just really wish they would have got rid of that date. Well, thank you for watching my review of the Cadisen C8208, homage to an Omega Seamaster 300 Heritage. And I will be back with another review or unboxing. I got something in the mail today, so it'll probably be an unboxing. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. Bye.